We are here with CREIGHTON BAIRD on the Media Podcast, and we have just finished an absolutely epic adventure.
It's been a good day.
I mean, I really appreciate it. So, for context, hopefully you've watched the other video, or you will see the coming video of our adventure. But we just hiked ancient art in Moab.
We didn't hike ancient art. You can't hike ancient art.
You're right.
What did we do?
We climbed it.
There we go.
It was unreal. And I want to kind of talk about, like, you have created a lifestyle around these types of adventures. I have ran 100 miles. I've done numerous Spartan races. I've raised 5 kids overseas. But this was one of the hardest things I have ever done. But at the end of the day, when I'm sitting here and thinking about what I just accomplished, like, that was amazing. How do you cultivate a life like this?
Man, from the time that I moved to Utah, I didn't really have a choice but to live a life like this.
Okay.
Growing up in West Texas, where I was, we didn't have much besides organized sports, which is great. But then I come out here and there's mountains and cliffs and water and elevation changes and things to do depending on the season. Man, I fell into climbing real fast when I moved out west, and climbing led to canyoneering, which led to highlining, which led to skydiving, which led to paddling river sports, which has led to like everything else that just makes up my life.
Yeah. And I think it leads to opportunities. You were recently on the show Race to Survive in New Zealand.
That's correct.
And I mean, it's just another example of doing hard things. And what is it about doing hard things that keeps you coming back for more? Like, why don't you quit?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know what I would do if I didn't do hard things. I don't think I would care for the person I would be if I didn't do hard things, if I didn't push myself. It just seems like settling into a life of, I don't know, I don't want to say like mediocrity, but like not getting out and challenging yourself. But that's honestly like the best thing about living in the West is like Texas is 98% private land. It's all huge ranches, right? It's only got 2% public land for you to run around on.
Yeah.
Out here in Utah, we got 76% public land.
Yeah.
That's your land and my land and your land, and you can go do whatever you want with it. You can paddle and hunt and fish and blow stuff up and climb rocks and like rappel into canyons.
Yeah.
And you can do hard things and you can figure out like what feeds your soul.
And it's so beautiful. Like today we're in Red Rock Desert. Tomorrow we're going to be running to the top of a mountain in snow. It's just, the variety is so amazing. But you've also had the chance to travel all over the world. So it's not just Utah, because you take your adventures to New Zealand. You just spent 3 months in the Bahamas sailing around. Like, tell me about that life. Like, what was it like living on a boat for 3 months in the Bahamas?
I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Really, I mean, come on.
I got to go on a 3-month sailing trip. I know like not many people get the opportunity, but one of my best friends invited me on this dream trip, and we spent 3 months on his boat, spearfishing and island hopping between these like uninhabited remote places.
Yeah.
Living on a boat for that long is the coolest thing I've ever done, and like it's my most favorite thing I've ever done, and I can tell you why. You hear the expression of like when you're younger, life is more colorful. Time moves a little slower. Things are a little more vibrant because they're new. Everything's new. You're experiencing it for the first time, and as you get older, you start to fall into a routine. You get a life and a job, maybe a wife, maybe kids, and every day starts to look a little more like the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and that becomes your life. And because it is routine, you know what's going to happen. Man, time speeds up. Like it goes faster and faster and faster. And I know that all of y'all know what I'm talking about. When I'm on that boat, when we're out there, we're constantly moving. We're at a new anchorage every couple days. You never know what problems you're going to have to deal with. You never know. You don't know like where you're going to stay. You don't know what you're going to eat. Man, when you start introducing variability like that, man, those days start to get longer.
Yeah.
Those bright colors come back a little bit, and you live so much more out there. It's the same amount of time, but like 3 times the life.
Yeah. And I imagine you appreciate stuff so much more. I mean, we kind of talked a little bit about, the survival part of the competition that you were in, and just how good eel tasted. And
Mm-hmm.
granted, you were probably starving, but
Mm-hmm.
how you described it, rendering down the fat and frying it in that fat, and then having salt from the ocean, like those are details that I just think that we don't appreciate. And
Yeah.
when you're starving, you appreciate it a million times more.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that you should go and starve yourself to really appreciate life, but I just think that we could. I think doing hard things. I think taking ourselves away from that routine allows us to tap into those colors and live a little bit slower. Like
Mm-hmm.
today, I mean, I honestly was miserable, but at one point, but we've been out here for like 7 hours, and I cannot believe that we've been out here for 7 hours. It is just phenomenal. So if you were to give advice to somebody who is in that rut, they're in that routine, and maybe this you're the wrong person to give this because you have seemed to always find that adventure. But if you were to give advice to somebody who is in that routine and they want to get out, what's the first step?
Everything in life is a trade-off.
Mm,
Like I love my life and I love what I do. But there's a trade-off. Um, but if I were if I were looking to change my life, I would I would choose to do one new thing.
yeah.
I don't know what that thing would be. It might be Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It might be you go learn to sail at your local yacht club or lake or whatever it may be. Just one new thing that might scare you a little bit. I feel like that would be a pretty good start.
I like that. I think that is great advice. I think anyone could start something. I remember during COVID, it's like everyone was starting a new hobby. And why do we have to let that stop? Like, keep having hobbies, try something new. I mean, this was absolutely new for me. I cannot believe I, I have done 5 pitches in my life, 5 climbs, and 4 of them were done today. And the first one was done, I don't know, 20 years ago with my friend in high, like just out of in college. Like this was very new, very different, but it has opened my eyes to like just possibilities. And I think that's part of doing hard things is we limit ourselves so frequently on what is our true potential.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do things like this, even if it's not even related to what you do professionally or what you want to do in your home, in your personal life, it just opens a door, and it's a mentality that says, nah, you can do hard stuff.
Yeah, even if it's not this, like even if this thing isn't your cup of tea, you can do harder things than you ever imagined.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, this is fantastic. I appreciate the time. I mean, like I said, there's another video coming of this whole adventure because we have spent a day just burning. But what is kind of to wrap up? What is a life motto or mantra that you live by, and why is it that?
No, I don't have one.
Don't have one.
I don't have a mantra or credo or something that I live by. It's pretty easy. Do you, do what makes you happy. If you can make other people happy in the process, all the better.
Yeah.
That's
I,
basically it.
I'm going to push back a little bit because I feel like there is something, maybe you just haven't identified it because, since I've known you, you have always been just so genuine. Like I can't remember. When I'm around you, I just feel like you are genuinely here. Like
Mm,
you are here. You're a genuine person. You're listening to me. You're listening to others, and you're very just like sincere. And so maybe there's not like a fancy saying, but you definitely have a something different about you that guides your life to allow you to do cool stuff and allow you to connect with people that others wouldn't just because of who you are. So don't discredit that you got more than I think you give yourself credit for. But um, hey, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, follow Creighton Baird, Mean Grit, whatever. Anywhere else? Anywhere you want to send people to follow you?
You can find me at my OnlyFans.
He's selling feet pics. Feet pics after
climbing shoe pics.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, hey, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.
We love you guys.
We love
I
you.
love you. You love them?
I love them.
We love you.
Talk to you later.
I need all the wins, yeah.